somewhere along the line, let's say your Rubik's 4x4 popped. The piece went flying out the car window, landed in Bob Smith's yard down the street, ended up melting to the concrete on a hot day, somehow got picked up by some guy walking down the street who picks up trash, taken to the recycling center, where it became another piece of plastic. Somehow, China got a hold of this plastic. I'm sorry, not China. Greece got a hold of this plastic. And a guy named Verdes said, "Oh, wait a minute. I can use this plastic. Let me use the plastic. Because I want to make cubes that I drew out on paper. I will call them V-cubes. And I will speak like Dracula." So, welcome to Massive Review Part 7, V-Cube Edition. V-Cube 5. Probably the very best quality 5x5. I don't know because this is the only 5x5 I've ever used. However, this is the best quality V-Cube. Out of the three V-Cubes, the three main V-Cubes, this would be my ultimate favorite. Because, not because it's 5x5, because it's a good quality cube. It doesn't pop for a long time. Once it starts to get really loose, maybe a year or two down the road, I've had this for a little over a year, maybe less, I don't know, around a year, and it's now starting to pop because of shit like this happening. Oh, look, no hands, Mom. Fucking lockups like that occur. Stretches shit out. I don't know. I don't really understand what happens, but somehow the cube gets really loose after a long time and starts popping pieces during certain lockups like that. Now, I can turn an outer layer, and eventually these corner centers will turn. They won't pop. They'll just twist. And then that ruins my solve. But I've had this cube for a year, like I said. It's not happened until just this month. This just started happening. So I would definitely say go ahead and buy a V-Cube 5. Don't waste your money on a Rubik's. I hear they're very bad. V-Cube 5 can cut corners pretty well. Mine cuts a little better than the odd V-Cube because it's loose. Inner layers, it's like a Maru. It'll cut half a piece. It's a half piece. It's a fun cube to solve. It's not too big, not too small. When you get it, the outer layers are not smooth. They're very bumpy. Me, myself, and Pi came up with a mod to sand down the bottom parts of the stalks of the corners, which has these bumps, these pointy bumps going along the base of the entire corner. I just did that like last week, and I'm so glad I did, because it's so much smoother now. It's like turning the outer layer of a modded V-Cube 6, which is this. This is a modded V-Cube 6. Like a Maru 4x4, it does come out of alignment. Even though the pins are there to stop it, it can still happen, and it's a big pain in the ass to fix. but it's rare. It's rare that it majorly comes out of alignment. But what does happen to the modded VCube 6 is that you'll be doing a speed solve. It'll slightly come out of alignment, just ever so little, to where you can't turn an outer layer. You gotta really fucking wiggle it and finagle with it and fucking shoot the shit out of it until it turns. And then it'll finally turn. But it's annoying and it screws up your times. The modification that me, myself, and Pi does for the VCube 6, which I actually sent mine to him because I was afraid to do the mod. I sent mine to him, he modded it for me, did a great job. It still pops. It's supposed to stop pops, or reduce pops. Now, before it was modded, anytime I would turn an outer layer, these pieces and some pieces further inside would go flying out. And they would get lost. Now, the only time it pops is when I cut corners. Whenever I'm cutting corners on 2 layers or even just 1 layer, different pieces pop out now. Edge pieces pop out. Some different center pieces pop out. And I've even had one of the big wedge pieces inside pop out. Somehow. So it did reduce pops on the pieces that popped. But it added pops to the pieces that didn't pop, but the pieces that used to pop don't pop. Get it? So that's the VCube 6. I mean, they came up with a great mechanism, but it clicks. When you first buy this cube, it clicks like a bitch. It every turn it clicks. Now it doesn't. Mod it. Get it modded, whatever you have to do, do the mod. Do the mod. Because it saves, solves. Last but not least, the VCube 7. Oh, joy. I love this cube with all my soul. But, like the VCube 5, it started getting really loose. Look, you can open it like a pussy. It just gets so loose. And after a while, it's to the point where, okay, sure, these corner centers used to pop out very minimal when I first got the cube. Now, a year later, that's all they do is fly the fuck out. No matter where I am, they fly the fuck out. I had one fly into a duck pond once. I had to climb a spiked gate to get over to the pond, where luckily my piece was floating by, not being eaten by ducks. And I got it. I got it back, luckily. So now all that happens is I cut corner on 2 layers, cut the corner, and these corner centers fly out, or not even the corner centers, it's the oblique center, the center next to the middle edge, I don't know what the fuck you call it. They pop all the time, and really it's not, I have to be so careful when I solve it now that it ruins my times. I mean, I just started getting better times, I got faster at the VCube 7, and now it's starting to pop. Come on, man, seriously. So, those are the VCubes. However, the VCube 7 is very smooth. It would be the best of the 3 if it didn't pop. It's so... Oh, God, you don't even have to lube this cube. I mean, I actually cleaned the lube out of it because it was just popping too much lubed. Don't lube your VCube 7. Don't lube it. Don't. Sadly, Part 8 will be the final part of Massive Review of every puzzle I own. All good things have to come to an end. Sorry. But enjoy it. And in the final days of Massive Review of every puzzle I own, bake a cake. For it, not for me. Bake it